KMSU.
Jason Newsted calling.
Jason, how you doing? This is Dustin Wellness.
How are you, man?
I am excellent. Thanks for calling us.
Dr. Wellness?
Dustin Wellness. You can call me Doctor if that works.
I thought that was pretty funny. That's good. Maybe you will be from now on. You have been dubbed.
There you go. I'm here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey there, how you doing?
What's happening?
Oh, nothing. Talking to you, man. Getting this party started.
Oh, holy shit. I mean, I got that out of the way, so that'll be done now.
All right.
That's it. That's done.
All right, good.
Well, man, we got some questions for you. We'll start off and, ask you how you got started playing the bass.
Are you serious?
Well, I mean, just give us the abridged version.
Wow.
We're serious. How did it start? What
did this
happened?
all start? Why are we talking to you now? Let's see. I was raised in Michigan, and I have two older brothers. They were teens in the 60s, and they had cool record collections. One of them was 8 years older, one was 5 years older, so I was just a little snub, and stealing all their records, and Black Sabbath, Queen, Jimi Hendrix, all those things like that. It's kind of what I got bit by to begin with, was my brother's record collection. Went on to listen to Kiss and all that kind of stuff, and once I discovered Kiss, I wanted to be Gene Simmons, so I had my dad get me a bass and started messing around that a little bit. After I discovered real Black Sabbath records, started learning from Black Sabbath, learning to play bass, and then that went on to Motorhead, and then that kind of formed my style between those two bands. And then, left home at 18, went and joined Flotsam and Jetsam. 5 years later, joined Metallica. Boom, here we are.
Man, that's quick. So
that was over, a little span of time. But anyway, I started playing my bass when I was 14. Joined Metallica when I was 23.
Yeah, that's crazy. When you joined Metallica, they were already pretty well established, right? Was it difficult to try to bring your personality and style into there, or what was that like?
I started in '86 with those guys, and they were still playing on their own anyway, like 2,200 or 3,000 seat venues across the world. They were just finishing up their opening slot with the Ozzy tour. That was their first big chance in America for exposure. So they started their climb late 1985, early 1986 with the Ozzy tour. That's when I stepped in. I finished up the Ozzy gigs with them that they had already had committed to. They were my heroes kind of thing at that time, because my other band, Flotsam and Jetsam, we had played Metallica songs and learned all their songs, and I sang the Metallica songs when we played them in Flotsam, so it was pretty close to me. I knew all the tracks and things like that before I went into for an audition or anything, but they were collectively, Metallica was one of Flotsam's main influences and favorite bands, so it was a little surreal going in with them, but I was ready. I was well-rehearsed.
And then, obviously, when you guys did the Black Album, that was humongous. I mean, that really opened up the gates for a lot of metal bands. Were you surprised at all that happened with that album? Or
we've been working really hard as far as spreading the word. Metallica was always bigger in Europe and all that than they ever were in the States, so that was kind of a global thing from the beginning. And that grew and grew and grew from a lot of road work in the first 5 or 6 years. Then we had an opportunity to get with a producer that really knew what he was doing with Bob Rock as far as capturing what we had built up to at that time, and then being able to teach us a little bit about recording and about the band as an orchestra. He taught me how to play the bass part as the bass player instead of trying to copy the guitar part, and all these different things like that. So because of Bob's hand in teaching us and helping us along, the Black Album became bigger than any of us thought it was going to be. We knew it was going to do well and be accepted because we saw what happened with the one video, and Injustice for All did very well, and people were really, it was, the chance was there, and we took the chance, and we really made it happen, captured something really good. Bob captured something really good. And, at one point with the Black Album, I think the Nothing Else Matters was number 1 in 40 countries at one time. So it's kind of, there was some overwhelming stuff for a bunch of metal kids, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you eventually left the group, but you had a pretty long run there. What, do you have any thoughts on that, or the direction they took after that, or anything like that you'd like to share?
15 years with that band, with Metallica, 86 to 2001. We climbed some very tall peaks, the tallest peaks possible in metal for sure. Broke down a lot of walls for other bands to go places. We were first in a lot of countries playing our style of music, so ambassadors in that way, that was always a pretty prideful thing. And I was there for the tallest peaks that Metallica has ever reached. I was present. And so I stepped off on one of those top peaks there, and that's kind of where I left myself. And I took the high road the whole time, since it was 12 years ago this week that I left the band. So now that the dust has settled, it was obviously the right thing to do because we have Metallica still dominating the universe, and I got a great new band that I'm very excited about. And most importantly, I was addicted to painkillers at the time, and James was all drunk and everything. There was a lot of trouble when I left the band. So now I'm healthy and happy, and he's healthy and happy, which that's the very most important things. And we're all good. So I did the right thing at the right time, and it was hard then, but it's great now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sure it was a good experience for you overall.
It really was.
After leaving, you played with a bunch of other bands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Echo Brain. Can you talk about some of those?
Yeah, I always have projects going on perpetually. My studio is called the Chop House, and it's been going ahead at its 21st anniversary this week. And so since that time, I've been playing with all styles of players for to make myself a better rounded player when I went to play Metallica. After I left Metallica, I did a project called Echo Brain, which is kind of like a labor of love with some real talented younger cats. And then I joined Voivod and made 3 records with them through the aughts. And then I played in Ozzy's band for 1 year during 2003. Recorded some stuff with Sepultura, with DJ Shadow, with Government Mule. Was on probably like 9 or 10 different albums through the decade. So I kept myself very busy. Never really stopped. I stepped out of Metallica and just kept going with other things.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit? It's odd, maybe not to you, but when you wound up in Ozzy's band after his bass player went into Metallica, what was it like working with Ozzy on the? You were on the Ozfest tour that year, right?
Right. Yeah, that was a kid still looking up at his posters on the wall. I still have Black Sabbath posters in my bedroom at my father's house. They're still up. So, this far into it, I'm in the Hall of Fame now as a metal bass player, but I still have my Sabbath posters up. I don't ever want to lose that fandom ever, and so that's what it was in Ozzy's band. I was just to be asked to begin with was pretty much an honor, but I went in there and took it serious because Geezer Butler's my number one teacher, and I was filling his shoes on those Black Sabbath songs I played with Ozzy. So it was I know Black Sabbath songs through and through and through all the way from my toes. So it was a really special, childlike wonderment thing when I got to take place in that. I did find myself a couple of times for real, dude. I'd be playing, I'd look across the stage, and I'd just start watching him. I just start watching, like, oh, look at that. And oh, God, I got to play too. God dang. So the hands would just fall off the bass, or I'd hit 6 wrong notes in a row just because I'm watching him vibe out, Yeah. It was pretty crazy. It was crazy. There was a couple of times where he would just call out songs that we never had rehearsed. And he would, at the time that I was with him in 2003, he was really messed up. He was very wobbly, And he didn't really remember that Robert wasn't there or whoever his other bass player wasn't there, but I was there, and he just calls out the song because that's one of his songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God dang, good thing I knew this from when I was 16, dude, because otherwise we'd be in trouble right now. Because considering there's 22,000 people in front of us in an amphitheater, and you just call out the Wizard, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
That's awesome.
Yes, it was strange. We did the longest show of my career I did with Ozzy, actually, on that tour was 3 hours and 1 minute in Montreal. We did 28 songs. 17 of them were Black Sabbath. So you're talking about a kid beyond the candy store thing, man. I was just hog heaven, or whatever the adage is, cliche is. I was happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've spent essentially a lot of years playing in bands that you kind of always dreamt of. I guess Metallica, you even had a hand in creating new things with them, but then you did the Ozzy thing. So now tell us about, you've got a new project that's just all you, right? This is you.
Yeah, this is the first time that I have written songs from top to bottom, all of them, all parts, guitar, bass, everything, and lyrics, and being the lead vocalist. I brought in a couple guys from Fresno, California. There's Jesus Mendez and Jesse Farnsworth. I've been playing with for about 5 years. And last August, we kind of put our nose to the stone, and I got the GarageBand iPad thing, and I wrote 11 songs. We've recorded those songs now, and we're releasing them in batches, and the first 4 are on the Metal EP that's out now exclusively on iTunes. Number 1 on the Metal charts, iTunes, this week.
Yeah,
number 4 on the Rock charts. And I think number 14 right behind Adele, right ahead of Bieber on the overall charts.
Whoa.
And we have done this with a 3-man crew out of my garage.
That's awesome.
It's all from the people. This was brought I mean, I'm doing this for the fans because they asked me to do it. When I went and played with Metallica at their 30th anniversary show at the Fillmore, December of 2011, the fans called me back into this, and that's why I'm doing this now. This is for the people, and as long as I keep getting the response that I have been getting from around the world, then I'll keep making the music. So we still have a whole bunch more of this particular series of songs to share with everybody. So first batch right now, and then more batches to come as we go through the year.
Awesome. So then do you think this is going to be it for a while, like for the long haul? You think the Newsted will be?
Kind of go back to what I just said. You know, as long as the people demand it and I'm getting good vibes, then I will make the attempt to take it to wherever I can. That's always been my quest. My quest hasn't changed since the beginning of Flotsam. You know, I take it to where anybody will accept our kind of music. I still have that same feeling, but now I've kind of got the ball in my court. You know, I've worked for 30 years doing what I'm doing and get the word around, been in some good bands to do that and make a name for myself. And so now I have to command a little bit of respect and a little bit of dough. And so it has to be right in that way. And most importantly, it has to be a good gig, a reputable venue, and some like a safe place for my guys to be. As long as the accommodations are all right and my boys are safe, we'll take it wherever we can. You know, that's the whole idea about this. You gotta especially this music, but all music. You gotta take it to the people, man. That's where it's at. It's always been that way, and it's still that way. That's one thing that hasn't changed, no matter what the technology does.
Yeah. So, is there anything else coming up? I mean, do you guys see a tour coming up this year, or any full length, or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a lot on the table right now. Since the 2nd of January, basically, the music has been out there in clips, and then we've been able to put the Soldier Head single out across the world to promoters and everything like that. There's a lot of offers, domestic festivals, international festivals, and some cool support slots for heroes, and some headlining a House of Blues, and different, you know, there's quite an array, quite a bunch of different scenarios that we could be involved in as far as the live thing goes. So I'm going to L.A. next week and start doing all those meetings and see what it's all about and see what they're made of down there, you know, and what the offers are. But my quest is to still, take it out to everybody that we can. So we have 3 EPs in the plan. At the end of that last one, that culminates to make the LP that'll be released on vinyl with all fancy artwork and all that stuff for people. All of the EPs will be available in all formats ultimately. They start out on iTunes and go for a few weeks there, and then match up with CDs that are available from newstedheavymetal.com, and then vinyl will follow that. So by the end of the year, everybody will have all formats of all songs.
Yeah, so I mean, nowadays you gotta hit all aspects of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of new avenues that I have to learn, you know, because I've been out of it for a while. There's a lot of things that don't change, that they're the old avenues that are tried and true. But some new stuff with technology, and I'm reaching out and reconnecting with the fans. It's just a pretty wonderful thing, is what I'm going to say, and surprising too for me, enlightening. I always have taken the time for the fans. It's kind of my MO. It has been for, my reputation for a long, long time as being approachable and being that guy. So now I'm reconnecting with all those people and their children and stuff. It's a fantastic thing, and I can reach out to the corners of the globe that I couldn't before, that I used to have to go there on foot, and now I can do it like this and see how they're doing in different corners of the planet. And also a lot of new places that have opened up to take the music to since I was with Metallica. I've played in just about 50 countries in my career, and there's more than that now to be able to take it to, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, we want to say we're obviously huge fans, and it's been an honor to have you on the show today. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that it's out there and fresh, and when you look at it, you know what you're getting, what Newsted means and what metal means. You put those together, there's no confusion, okay? You are getting that no matter what styles I've played with in the past, with Government Mule or any of the different styles, you're getting what I do best on these songs. NewstedHeavyMetal.com is the guide for all of the tour stuff, all the info, and the web store where there's old merchandise from all the tours and stuff in the past for like the past 15 years. There's a lot of old, music projects that I did with other bands of Sepultura and Exodus and Devin Townsend and all those old projects that people have read about for years. Those are available now. And then Jason C. Newsted on Twitter, and I'm Jason Newsted on Facebook. I go on every day for 90 minutes to answer people. I get as many answers in as I can in 90 minutes. So if you want to say something, send me some positive vibes, then I'll be there to talk to you.
Awesome.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the help. I appreciate it, and maybe we'll see you guys down the road here this summer or something.
Yeah,
All right,
sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Okay, dig it. Bye.
All right, bye.